You'll think everything can be figured out, analyzed, solved through pure intellect. You may believe that if you think hard enough, you'll find the answer, that if you gather enough data, create enough spreadsheets, read enough books, watch enough videos, then suddenly clarity will arrive. But that's not how spiritual downloads work. Spiritual information doesn't come through the analytical mind, it comes through surrender. What would happen if you stopped defending yourself? What would happen if you open up? These are the obstructions built from fear of being seen, fear of being too much, fear of your own spiritual power. Your obstructions are not always created by traumas or bad experiences. Sometimes you build obstructions because you're afraid of what would happen if you stepped into your full capacity, if you let yourself see spiritually, as creative, as powerful as you actually are. For a very long time, you've been operating under a specific blueprint of how reality works, what's possible, and what's acceptable. That blueprint is now obsolete. Don't continue to play by strategies that worked in the past, but has no application in the one that is emerging. All obstructions encounter the universal solvent. Some are too deep, too hardened to be broken by force. Boundaries are dissolved. The frequency of your entire energetic field begins to rise. And as that frequency rises, the dense, low vibration structures you've been carrying, they can't maintain their cohesion anymore. There is warmth, acceptance, and saturation. You're feeling emotional already. Why you cry often when there are commercials, when you feel like crying for no reason. Your body knows what's coming. Your soul is already preparing to receive. There are symbols, dreams, and intuitive knowing. For the past 2 weeks, you've been tuning in, adjusting, and checking. You've been thinking differently, more in feelings. You can receive massive bundles of spiritual data without your nervous system overloading. Some of you had dreams that felt prophetic. You got sudden insights in the shower. You knew things you had no logical way of knowing. There's conscious awareness, but before, there's a vague hunch, a confusing dream, a feeling you can't quite articulate. Then you got intuitive data. A feeling becomes a knowing. Confusion becomes clarity. There's abundance, resources, and exchange. The divine download you're receiving is practical, actionable, meant to be brought to your life in general and applied. It's strategy, direction, and the missing piece you need to move forward. If you're feeling unusually emotional than normal, it's a sign that your system is already beginning to receive. If you've been on the verge of tears, or if you've been crying and you can't quite explain why, your system is releasing density. Saltwater tears is how the body processes and releases old emotional armor. Don't fight it. You're not being weak. You're literally washing out the debris. If you've been staring into space, losing track of time, feeling like you're drifting, this is the frequency of deep meditation. Your consciousness is slipping between the seen and the unseen worlds. You're actually receiving. Data is downloading into your subconscious. Your dreams over the past few nights may have been intense, strange, and laden with symbolism. Pay attention to them. Don't try to analyze them logically. Feel into them. The download often arrives first in dreams because your logical mind can't filter it there. You might be getting flashes of insight about situations you've been confused about for months. Suddenly, you just know what to do. You can't explain how you know, you just know. You can't force divine downloads. You can't manifest them through willpower. You can't earn them through productivity. It runs on surrender, on receptivity, and on allowing. Don't figure it out. If you've been trying to solve a problem, analyzing it from every angle, trying to logic your way to a solution, stop. The answer isn't going to come through the analytical mind, but through the part of you that knows without knowing how. You don't need to meditate for hours. You do need to turn off notifications, step away from the scroll, sit with a cup of tea and stare out the window. Let your mind wander. The download arrives in the spaces between thoughts, not in the thoughts themselves. If emotion arises, let it move through you. Don't judge it. Don't regard it as unusual. You're not being dramatic or too sensitive. You're processing decades of accumulated density in a single day. If you feel drawn to call someone, call them. If you feel pulled to take a walk in a specific direction, go. If you feel the urge to pick up a book you haven't touched in years, open it. The download often arrives through synchronicity, through the coincidences that aren't coincidences at all. Write it down in a book. Insights arrive fast. Capture them immediately. Don't trust that you'll remember later. You won't. Don't dismiss what you receive just because it seems too simple. Downloads don't really arrive complex, but in one clear sentence, one obvious next step, one realization that makes every next step fall into place. If it feels too easy or too obvious to be the answer, that's probably exactly what it is. The download you receive isn't meant to stay in the ethereal realm. This Friday, the 20th, after your obstructions are dissolved and the download is delivered, there's the materialization of the dream. The wall around your heart is being dissolved. The wall around your potential, the wall around what you believed, who is possible for your life. The space has been cleared because the debris has been washed away. The vision you receive is the architectural plan. On Friday the 20th, construction begins. What downloads now becomes the foundation of the next 36 years of your life. Not everyone will receive this download. Not everyone will dissolve their blocks. Not because the energy is available, it's flooding the entire planet, but because not everyone will create the conditions to receive it. Don't go into Saturday 21st still carrying the same obstructions.